In 1990, $1 million meant you had made it. $1 million net worth put you in a tiny club, and the word for a person in that club was simple: rich. Ask the internet what rich means in 2026 and stand back. Because nobody agrees, everybody has a number, and everybody is quietly furious that other people's numbers are insane. There is a survey that gets run almost every year, and it asks a devastatingly simple question. How much money would you need to feel rich? Not comfortable, not fine, rich. And the answers do something strange. They scale with whatever you already have. So the number is never a fact about money. It is a mirror. Start with the headline that breaks people's brains. In the most cited recent version of that survey, the average American said it takes around $2.5 million in net worth to feel wealthy. Not to be a millionaire, to feel it. The bar to feel rich had drifted to roughly 2.5 times being a millionaire. But that average hides the real story, which is that the number moves depending on who you ask. People who already have a lot name a bigger figure. Someone worth $100,000 might say $1 million feels rich. Someone worth $1 million says it takes 5. Someone worth 5 says 10 and doesn't feel wealthy either. Economists have a dry phrase for this: the hedonic treadmill. You adapt to whatever you have. Your baseline resets, and the finish line politely walks away from you at exactly your own speed. Rich is always about double where you're standing, which means, mathematically, almost nobody arrives. Now break it by generation, because this is where the comment section catches fire. Younger adults, the ones who came up after 2008 and then walked straight into the most expensive housing market in modern history, tend to name enormous feel-rich numbers. Surveys of Gen Z and younger millennials regularly return figures far higher than what older generations say, sometimes claiming it takes millions per year in income to feel secure, let alone rich. The older generations look at those numbers and reach for the same word every time: entitled. But look at what actually changed underneath them. Adjusted for inflation, wages have crawled, while the three big anchors of a stable life have sprinted. Housing, healthcare, and education have all outrun the paycheck for decades. So when a 26-year-old says it takes a fortune to feel rich, they are not describing greed. They are describing a coastline where the water came up, the old numbers drowned. They are quoting the new sea level. Here is the part that gets almost no airtime, and it is the strangest twist in the whole story. Somewhere along the way, looking rich got cheap, and being rich went invisible. For most of the 20th century, wealth announced itself. Big logos, loud cars, a watch you could read across a room. That was status you could buy on credit, and eventually everyone did. So the actually wealthy did something counterintuitive. They went quiet. Unbranded knitwear that costs a fortune. A plain tote bag that signals to the right eyes and nobody else. The whole aesthetic that got labeled quiet luxury. The tale flipped. When status symbols became affordable to fake, the real signal became the ability to not send one. Logos became a marker of trying. Blankness became the flex, which is a genuinely bizarre place for a civilization to end up. The richest people on Earth are now competing to look like they might just work at a very calm startup. There is one more number that cuts through all of it, and it is the one people actually feel in their body. Not the net worth to feel rich, the walkaway number. How much would it take, right now, for you to quit your job tomorrow and never go back? That number is different from the survey answers because it is not about yachts, it is about the alarm clock. It is freedom priced in currency. And when you ask people that version, the figure usually drops hard because most people don't actually want a super yacht. They want to stop asking permission to exist on a Tuesday morning. For a lot of people, the honest walkaway number is smaller than they'd admit at a dinner party and larger than they will ever manage to save, which is the exact gap that runs their whole life. So put it together, and rich stops being an amount at all. It's a moving target that resets to double your position. It's a sea level that rose under one generation and not another, which is why the argument never ends. It's a status game that inverted, so the loudest signal is now silence. And underneath all of it is the only figure that was ever really about you, the price of walking away. The survey can't measure that one, because it's not the same in any two cities or any two lives. Which brings us to the only question that matters here, and the only one this video is going to ask you to answer. How much per year would make you feel rich where you actually live? Drop the number, drop the city, then scroll the replies, and watch a stranger 3 time zones away call your number either poverty or a fantasy. That fight, the one about to happen underneath this video, is the real map of how money feels in 2026. Not the average, the argument.